1-1 draw in the Limburg derby against St Truden. They have been very much focused on top spot since then. And what sides they've beaten. Sorfuni Saint-Chawals on the road, a late winner in stoppage time from Ali Samata. Thumping victory over Antwerp in the battle of the top two a fortnight ago. And Wout of Ranken's new side seeing off his old side last week in the form of Mechelen. Charleroi start had been okay, 3 wins in the first 5 games, but then it really hit the buffers for Edward Still. He dispatched, and a lot of talk that their old boss may become their new boss now that he's not got much to do at the moment. Both coaches are trying not to change a winning team, but one change each due to suspension. For Genk, Nicola Castro makes his first start after 11 substitute appearances since joining from Newell's Old Boys in Argentina. Bilal Al-Khanous sent off in the 3-1 win against Mechelen. Jackson Chitua comes in for Charleroi in place of Kenan Kuba, who hit 5 bookings in the 1-0 victory over Antwerp. Alexandre Boucaud, referee tonight. Christophe Batiston, Quentin Blaise, the assistants. Michael Alets, the 4th official. Marco Lamar Ritter has had his week off due to 5 bookings. Brian Haynen may have the ultimate booking from next week onwards. Charleroi fans have spent their time getting here, but they are now finally arriving. It's not necessarily the longest trip for them either. Genk's recent run has been brilliant. Hence pretty much every home seat full for this Friday night encounter. Charleroi trying to find a complete reignition. Brent Starsons leads the VAR team. Alain de Vries and Isvan Lagat watching on as well. So from a Charleroi point of view, things have had to change, and they have made the ultimate change. Genk aiming for 9 wins in a row for the very first time in their history. If they manage it, they go 10 points clear of Antwerp at the top. 14 unbeaten, 13 wins in those 14. And the former Mike Trésor has been so fantastic with all of those assists, leading that table, that he is in the 55 pre-World Cup selection of Roberto Martinez, along with this man, Brian Haynen. Genk's form has been that good, he's had to take notice, but he has said that neither Haynen or Trésor will be heading to Qatar unless there's an injury in the 23 that's in his head. Good control by Rozovsky. Already has a major tournament under his belt in the form of the Euros last year. But no major plans to make for the rest of the year. Mark McKenzie is certainly one of those, like Sam Vines, on the edge of the United States squad. Crossed by Carlos Cuesta for Mark McKenzie. Genk have a brilliant recent record against Charleroi. Their current record against them is their best ever. Paintsel getting it forward decently. Munoz! Well denied by Martin Wasinski, the Belgian under-19 international. Walter Franken said watching Mechelen last week was seeing his children go up with another man. Well, that's true enough, but you did leave for another house, Walter. Brilliant stop by Rusinski, who's certainly been... Will Mike Chesor be? Not a bad delivery either. It was well cleared at the near post by Ilima. They've been doing their homework. It's a cracking ball forward, aim for Paintsill. That is a tremendous stop. Frank Defay, a Charleroi player for 10 seasons, in his 5th season as assistant, in his 2nd game as caretaker boss. One more league game to come next week, and after that we would expect a new appointment. Well, he's got a 100% record so far, 1 game, 1 win. And unlike Big Sam, he gets a 2nd shot as well. Worth remembering, the Mike Chesor is the son of a former Burundi international, so if Belgium are going to pounce, it has to be soon. He's Belgian born, his dad played here. And straight out. Just brushed the arm of Adam Zorgan. Had that penalty saved against Cercle a couple of weeks ago in the 4-1 away loss of the Unbridled. That was the end of Edward Still and his brother Nick Still, the now departed video analyst. Both gone for different measures in terms of their one change tonight, with Charleroi bringing a regular in. Jackson Chichu has only missed 1 match this season. Only made his debut in the opening game of last season, but it's not that he's been a part of the furniture ever since. While Genk are bringing in a man in Bended Castro, who, after being a substitute every single time that he's been used, now starts for the first time. He was an Argentine under 17. He turned 22 on Tuesday. Munoz. Good hanging cross, dangerous, trying to pick out Onuachu, who's certainly got on the goal groove now. He didn't score against Mechelen, just as well for the Yellow Reds. Prior to that, 8 goals in 5 games. To rocket towards the top of the scoring charts. Mario Gonzalez subsequently overtaking him to go on to 9 goals for Leuven. Onuachu, Kopers and Janssen on 8. Kembe got the touch away. Certainly having burst into the Belgium setup during the last World Cup cycle of 4 years. It would be tremendous news for him to do it again. That panel of 55 hasn't been made public, but the clubs have been notified who may be needed. Standard Liège have already made public they don't have any players in that panel of 55. It's opened up invitingly. Aynan short for Paintsill, who's still got Aynan on the overlap. Munoz. Paintsill, like so many, seems a revitalised man under Walter Franken, and this is a great break by Munoz! Down for a penalty after only 6 minutes. What an opening. What a chance to go in front so soon. Munoz bringing it along. Wazinski stretching. Now, how much contact was there? Did Munoz leave his foot trailing? That's for Brent Starsons and his team to determine. It's the first penalty that Charleroi have conceded all season. It's the 8th that Genk have won, and they've scored 5 of their 7. Onuachu's only taken 2 this season. He scored against Kortrijk and against Westerlo. VAR team are giving this a very strong look. Paul Onuachu scores again. Nine goals in 7 games. He's the 4th man in Belgium again. Hervé Coffey recalled to the side last week for the victory over Antwerp. Just dived slightly too much. Onuachu right down the middle. 3 out of 3 from the spot for him this season. 6 out of 8 for Genk, full stop. What a fiery start. And the top scorers in the league hit their 40th goal of the season in game number 16. No risk being taken by Gerardo Arteaga, the Mexico international, who's got a squad to aim for himself. And Argentina's group. Charleroi corner. Now this has got the training ground about it. Almost thought they were doing the conga for a second. Nothing to celebrate from it though. Isaac Mbenza's corner could have been better. Rolls out for a throw though. Well, it was novel, it was different. Was at Lokeren a good few years ago. Actually, probably it was Charleroi, come to think of it, where they had cheerleaders kind of shuffling along the corner quadrant as the kick was being taken a few times. Worked as well. They scored from one of them. Has been very, very resolute this season, and aside of him playing tremendous football to reward it as well. Onuachu getting it back for Rozovsky. He'll have a go from long range. Coffey only parrying. It's wide open. Arteaga's there. It's offside against Paintsill. But what a promising attack. And Genk are looking as threatening as they did under Van den Brom 2 seasons ago, before it just went pop last campaign. And just look at the amount of blue shirts they kept up. Rozovsky's shot parried, and then as soon as Paintsill got involved, having been in offside position when the shot was taken, then the flag went up. It's a real thriller here last season when they met in the European playoffs. 3-2 victory. Charleroi head through Ilimar Ritter, and Genk scoring 3 in 10 minutes through Onuachu, Carlos Question and Kuba own goal. Genk had won 4-2 in the regular season. Onuachu scoring at that as well. And Junior Ito now departed. Luka Oyen sadly out for much of the season, injured. Franken was on one of the main analysis shows on Monday night. Highlight shows in Belgium don't have any analysis on them. You get the games, you get the interviews. The in-depth stuff comes on the Monday. Interesting thing he said about Paul Onuachu is that he'd actually prefer 5 players who score 10 goals than a single one who scores 30, but right now I think he might have all of that. Hitting 35 2 seasons ago. It's whipped away by McKenzie. There were problems last season. Defensively, they were quite porous for the first half of the campaign under John van den Brom. After winning the cup, after being league runners-up the previous season and finishing level on points at the end with Club Brugge in the title playoffs, were being denied because the club had finished above them in the regular season. And obviously finished 20 points clear of them in the regular season, which was then halved and then whittled away. Second half of the campaign under Bernd Storck was not quite the flamboyant football they were looking for. He had been prospering a bit at Eupen, but dispatched a fortnight ago. Quite a few more have gone since then. Castro fancied it! Onuachu was in a very, very good position. Painter likewise. That was the foul on Munoz. That resulted in the conversion by Onuachu so early. Up and running straight away. It's not the easiest ground to get to. It's way off around the Tor and Water Sky areas where those clubs used to be based before the merger between the two in 1988. It's way out of the town of Genk. But they're getting the results, and as a result, they are really getting the crowds. Brzezinski, who was penalised for the spot kick. It is a Polish name. The Polish Football Association have tried to make contact with him with very little success. Like a lot of national associations now, they have a spotters programme, checking various football lineups around Europe. Onuachu. He's got good support going, nice and wide. Ortega couldn't quite fall for Castro, and might have the second time of asking. That could be another penalty. Aynan looked to be held back. Genk have won the ball back. And that definitely was an incident to be watched back. There was a bit of physicality, and for now it was on the right side of illegal. And it might just have been on the right, unviewed side of referee Alexandre Bucco, but we'll see. Covered by Jonas Baer. It was a great chance for him, and Baer was in with him, and there's an arm around Aynan. Looked suspicious, but players resume. There will be no sequel to that. Away by Baer. Part of that brilliant title chase for so long last season by Union Saint-Gilloise. And even though it was defeat to the other Union last night of Berlin in Leuven by a goal to nil, Union Saint-Gilloise win their group. Go through along with Club Brugge, and quite gloriously Genk and Anderlecht as well. Both had to win last night, both did. Hosseinzade's challenge was very, very awkward on Paul Onuachu, who certainly had his injury problems the past few seasons, despite being such a regular goal scorer. 57 goals in the last 2 seasons. You can add another 9, and he's still being treated off the pitch. And that's a big worry.